Hola, I'm back. Hey guys, I'm here for my video that I've been planning to make for a long time, but haven't done until now. This should have been one of the first videos that I've made, but I'm just now getting to it because I think that throughout time since I've been here, I've learned a lot more than I would know in the beginning. So it's actually better that I'm doing it now than that I was in the beginning. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some things that you should bring abroad, what you shouldn't bring abroad, and kind of how I made my way around. And if you guys have seen like all the places I've traveled to, I'm going to talk about how I did that at the lowest cost that I could and how I did the planning and traveling and made it the easiest way that I could. So for people that are only interested in that, I'm going to start out the video and talking about that and ways that you can travel. So that if you don't really care about the other step, you can whatever. So first, I knew before I came here that I wanted to go to a lot of different countries. I knew that I wouldn't have the opportunity of coming back to Spain or Europe in general for a really long time, or whenever I want. If I decided to, I could, but I knew that this time was the time to do it, the time to go on weekends. Every weekend I can go to a different place. So I wanted to make sure that I could go to as many countries as possible and as many cities as possible to make my trip worth its money and worthwhile. So yeah, when I got here, my friend Sydney and I first started planning out what we wanted to do, where we wanted to go specifically, and what we wanted to see. So of course we wanted to do all the basic like big cities, but we also there's a lot that we had seen on Pinterest and Instagram, Twitter throughout our time that we really wanted to go, like places we really wanted to go to. So we made sure that we were able to visit those countries and cities when we could. So on to how I did it. So at first I really knew nothing about traveling and how to do it the best way and efficiently and save the most money. I read a lot of articles online, and there's so many different things that they say that are the best option. So it's never really, you can't really ever know what the best option is until you're searching and doing it all yourself and you find what works best for you. But it's crazy. The thing I saw the most that's probably the most prevalent for cheap flights is Google Flights. And after doing my trips here, I completely agree. A lot of people like to say they like apps such as Skyscanner, Last Minute, Ryanair, and Kiwi, which I'll go into those in a second. But Google Flights actually takes over all of those apps and all of those flights and finds the best one for the lowest price. You could even type in like where you're from. So say I fly out of Alicante because that's like the biggest airport near me. So if I say cheapest flights from Alicante, December 3rd through the 6th, it'll come up with all of these different cities that I can go to. Like it'll say Rome, Cologne, Germany, Berlin, like all of these different cities, and show you prices. And you could really just pick the lowest price that you're like, oh, this is a low price for this date, I'm gonna pick this one. So there's a lot of different options on that. And you could always just type in, the city that you're in, where you want to go to, and find the dates as well, because it also brings up a calendar of when the cheapest times are. So I feel like Google Flights, and that's like along with everything else Google has to offer, is super efficient when trying to find your flights and everything else. It's also really amazing with trying to find hotels and hostels. When you're looking in the area, you type in where you want to stay, and it comes up with a big map and little points around like the city, and it has like the amount of how much you're going to spend. Super amazing. I totally recommend that for flights and for hotels and hostels and stuff like that. So I know like if people have seen me traveling all around, they're like, oh my God, where's she getting all this money? First of all, I got loans. I definitely have loans, but I also like have saved up a lot of money over the summer, and the flights that I have and the hostels that I have and the trips are not that expensive because when I first got here, I took care of it. I went and got the flights ahead of time, I guess like some a month, some 2 or 3 months in advance. And that saved me so much money and time to plan other things with it as well, like my hostel and the things to do. So when you see me traveling to places like Brussels, Cologne, Germany, Paris, all of those flights were literally 70 euros and under, like seriously. And I think 2 were through Ryanair. So Ryanair is also a really good app that you could use for people that travel in Europe. I'm sure that you've heard about it, or maybe if you haven't. But Ryanair is super good. They have flights that sometimes it's like as low as $5 or €5.99. Like very, very small prices. My brother had actually told me back when he was traveling abroad that his flights were like literally like two euros like everywhere. So it's changed a little bit. They're a little bit more expensive now, but I think that it's totally worth it to look on that along with Google Flights. But Google Flights will put everything with Ryanair as well, so you can look on that. But Ryanair is definitely something that you should look at because you can find great flights for great prices, and that's where I found mine. Like I said, 70 euros and under for all of these trips, and this is to a totally different country that you've never been to or know nothing about. So it's actually pretty amazing. Another app I wanted to talk about was Kiwi.com, or app and .com. Kiwi.com is super amazing because you could do this thing called multi-way travel. And through multi-way travel, you could pick, say you want to go from, like my sister and I are going to travel through Italy. Say I wanted to go to Rome, but I also want to go to Venice, and I also want to go to Austria, and I also want to go here. If I wanted to do that, I could put in Kiwi all of the places I wanted to go, and it comes up with a configuration of every way that I could get to those places in that order. And you can even put in the amount of days you want, or you could do it random. So it's really, really cool when you want to go to all these different places, because then it finds you the lowest price for all the connecting places that you want to go. And I did like a whole 9-day trip through Italy of like 7 cities, and it was like 200 euros for everything. So it's really amazing. I really love that app. That works for things too, that if you have a flight to somewhere, but you're not going to leave from the same place, like a round trip, but not from the same place, Kiwi is great for that kind of stuff too. So I would really look into that if you're interested in stuff like that as well. One more thing about travel that I want to say before I talk about things to bring abroad is that if you're looking for buses, trains, or anything like that, Omio app is really amazing. That's the app I always go to get all of my trains and bus passes. They're super cheap, and you can even get a discount too if you're through a certain program, studying, or a college student in general. So yeah. Okay, enough of that. That's how I traveled and saved money. I'm now going to talk about what to bring abroad and how to pack. So before I came here, I wish I knew a little bit more. They definitely informed us a lot about what to bring, how to pack, and, based on where you're going. So essentially I knew I was coming to Spain, so I knew Spain was going to be a hot place that's dry and warm, whatever. And it's also here in Murcia called the home of the sun. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pack all my, tank tops, all my warm clothes, not thinking that I would probably be traveling in the winter to places like Germany, Berlin, and Brussels, all these places that are going to be freezing. So definitely think of that ahead of time about where you're going, where the places you're going to be traveling to as well, because you don't want to spend too much money here and waste it, but you also don't want to pack too much stuff. So you want to have a good balance of stuff. Before I came here, they also said, be minimalistic, pack 10 t-shirts, 10 pants, or 5 pants, 3, whatever. I'm just not the type. I can't do it. I love clothes, and I'm a really big packer, except when I go on my little trips, I'm really efficient. But here I was like, I can't just have a small wardrobe. I have to have my stuff. So if you are going to bring a lot of stuff, I suggest that you do if you're a person like me, but you have to find the best way to efficiently pack your stuff. I had looked up a lot of things, and my aunt also referred me to rolling up your stuff. It makes your suitcase, you won't even believe the difference it makes. I'm sure you guys have seen it all over Twitter with those videos like, oh, hacks. But you roll it super, super tight, fold it, and then roll it super tight, and then put it and stack all of them in your suitcase. I was able to pack so much stuff by doing that. So it's a really great idea to pack like that if you're going to be going on long trips like this. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was things like necessary to bring and things that you can wait to bring. So if you're gonna go to a place out of the country, they're most likely not, they're for sure going to have a different port. So here I have a converter port that I got on Amazon. This was like $12, and this is the Europe plug. They have some that you could use the, you know, this, I don't know where that's from, Japan. There's a lot of different ones, but it's a really good idea to have something like this now, and you can always have it forever. Definitely get that before you come abroad, because you'll need that. And if you don't have it, like even when you get to the first airport, it's just hard to get around if your phone dies or something happens. So make sure that you have that before coming abroad. For the girls, so I was also informed about this before I came. Do not bring your hair straighteners, blow dryers, or curlers over here. You could always buy those things over here for a very cheap price. So I would definitely recommend doing that. Save space and buy it over here, because I had actually heard a story of a girl's hair catching on fire because the converter, it just wasn't like fully working, and it combusted, whatever, and her hair caught on fire. So that didn't happen to me here. I didn't bring any of my stuff, thank God, but I did have my Apple laptop charger, and that won't work even with the configuration of this. So make sure you take that into account too, of the things that you need and plug situations before you come. And yeah, so I guess other than that, the only thing is the necessities that you need to bring are your clothes and things that you'll be using every day. Things that are, you know, you could throw away, like the toothpaste, well, you'll probably want to bring that right away, but hairbrush or hair shampoo, all of that kind of stuff, soap, buy here, because that's another way that you could save space in your bag. Being over here, I've actually bought a lot of stuff, and I'm kind of like overthinking now how I'm gonna fit everything in my suitcase, but I'm gonna try to find a way, and if I'm gonna have to pay the overweight fee, I'm gonna have to pay it. Just know that if you do have the overweight fee at the airport, it is $100, which I did not know. That's insane. My dad was mad at me, but it had to happen. So yeah, that's pretty much all the things that you have to, or that I suggest that you bring abroad. And that's the way that I've traveled and went around Europe. Oh, one last thing, I should have included this before. So if you're still watching and you were interested in this part, then here it is. Definitely travel in hostels. I recommend doing that way more than being in hotels. It is a complete difference. You meet so many new people, and literally my life has changed because of some of the hostels I've been in. I've met Jake, Chris, just so many different people. Every time I go, oh, Liam, shout out to Liam. Everywhere I go, we've met someone, and somehow it's always like, so like, can we come get breakfast with y'all? Next thing you know, 2 days later, we're like doing this crazy thing, like somewhere out in the city. Like, it's just so amazing. You meet so many new people, and you're only paying like 15 euros a night. So it's super amazing. And sharing the room isn't as bad as you think. If you're bougie and you're like, I'd rather get a hotel. Okay, suit yourself, but the experiences and people that come along with it are literally like forever changing. Like, for example, our friend Jake that we met in Germany, like one night, like he was just like, okay, yeah, I'll come with you guys. Now this weekend when I go to Edinburgh, Scotland, he's coming with us. Like, how crazy is that? Like, it's just crazy, like how you meet people and you can create forever connections, and now have people in different countries that, you know, you didn't ever think that you would meet. So I definitely recommend hostels and things like that for your traveling abroad, or just traveling in general. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, for my tips and tricks. This was long overdue, but I'm glad that you guys are watching if you've gotten to this point. So yeah, stay tuned for my next video, and hasta luego.